You were chosen, not by accident, not by chance, but by something far greater than any logic the world might offer. Right now, in this exact moment of October 2025, a final note from the divine has been delivered to you, an urgent message with the power to transform destinies. Everything you've lived through, every silent struggle, every whispered prayer in the dark, has been preparation for this encounter. Messages like this don't arrive intact. There are invisible battles fought so that only those truly destined receive such revelation. This message was deleted 3 times, yet it persisted, breaking through every blockage just to reach you. That is not coincidence. That is destiny. The heavens are aligning. Portals are opening over lives that have walked hidden, silent, being shaped in secret. Every prayer you whispered, every tear shed on lonely nights, every dream you almost forgot, all of it has converged to this instant. The entire universe mobilizes because the final note from God arrives only when the time is ripe. And the time has ripened. Perhaps you felt a restlessness, a call without explanation, an acceleration the world doesn't notice. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. The Spirit is knocking at the door of your soul, saying, now, not later. The preparation has ended. The season of waiting is over. The spiritual universe vibrates, and with it, everything you've been waiting for begins to flow in unexpected ways. Before we go further, there's a resource that can quietly support this transition. If you feel called to deepen without noise or pressure, I've prepared something simple and profound. Prosperity revealed in 3 dimensions. It's a guided path designed to help you bring clarity to the noise, alignment to your purpose, and practical wisdom to your actions. You can explore it as an ebook for reading or as an audiobook for listening, whatever fits your life right now. Everything is available in the pinned comment and in the description. Take the time that feels right. Now let's return to the heart of our exploration. You will see doors opening suddenly, paths clearing where there was dense fog, strategic relationships emerging. None of this will be coincidence. It will all be the fruit of a divine mechanism activated to elevate those who did not surrender to disillusionment. The world may label this time chaos, but for the chosen ones, it will be synonymous with clarity, promotion, supernatural advancement. Don't expect the media or science to explain the inexplicable. There will be signs in the world, glitches in systems, natural disasters, interrupted patterns, but the true confirmation pulses within you. These are echoes of a spiritual reality, tearing the veil of the apparent to bring the chosen ones to light. Portals of wisdom, favor, and purpose long locked are being reopened. Your soul will sense it before your eyes see it. This moment is not about ego exaltation, but about purpose activation. All the anonymity, all the apparent failures, all the doors that closed were heaven's reorganization for your positioning at this exact now. It is a time of distinction, not of physical separation, but of elevation. You will continue living among people, but with renewed authority, with an anointing that begins to radiate influence without concern for outward performance. Spiritual inheritance is not just a metaphor. It manifests also in provision, ideas, resources, influence, family reconciliations, integral healing. There will be no more crumbs from heaven. You're entering a cycle of abundance, not for selfish accumulation, but for legacy, to impact and rebuild lives, systems, and cultures from the inside. Your name, once hidden, will be remembered, called, and positioned in places of decision-making, influence, and restoration. If this resonates, consider subscribing to stay connected as we unfold these truths together. Your presence here matters. Do not fear the new. Divine favor covers your path, the inexplicable favor that opens doors ahead of you, accelerating what once seemed impossible. The preparation, at times solitary and painful, was only so that you would have deep roots. Now the rains arrive, fertilizing all the ground that seemed barren, and you, for your faithfulness in the hidden, will be protected, multiplied, and recognized. The rain of honor that arrives is no accident. It comes because you said yes, even while crying. You served even without applause. Now your story becomes an answer for many who doubt whether integrity and faith still count. God is elevating those who never asked for a stage, but lived with a posture of humility. With this comes responsibility. Favor is armor that requires wisdom, and leadership will not be aimed at domination, but at service, at direction, at making a difference in every sphere you occupy. Pay attention. Strategic connections, comparable to pieces of a spiritual puzzle, will arise with fluidity, not by human effort, but by celestial alignment. All the separations, pains, and distancing were part of the refinement, so that you would have discernment to recognize those who truly belong to your journey of destiny. Time accelerates. What used to take years now happens in months, weeks. Obstacles melt, opportunities leap in front of you. But be ready. Acceleration demands readiness. Just as in the parable of the 10 virgins, only those with oil, that is, with heart and spirit prepared, will enter through the door of divine opportunity. Research in cognitive psychology suggests that readiness is not merely mental preparation, but a holistic state of alignment, where emotional clarity meets practical action. When we cultivate inner coherence, external circumstances begin to shift, often in ways that feel synchronistic. This isn't magic. It's the natural result of living from center rather than from chaos. Leave a like if this message is bringing clarity to something you've been sensing inside but couldn't name until. No, nothing you've lived was in vain. The time of overflow has arrived, whether in financial provision, restored relationships, awakened gifts, or activated new leadership. Do not accept crumbs. Heaven releases abundance so that you may be a channel of healing, restoration, and renewal in the world. Imagine a garden that has been watered in secret. The gardener worked quietly, never broadcasting his labor. Day after day, he tended the soil, removed the weeds, protected the young shoots from harsh winds. To the passerby, the garden looked ordinary, even barren at times. But beneath the surface, roots were spreading, drawing nutrients, building a foundation. Then in one season, everything blooms at once. The garden erupts in color, fragrance, and fruit. That is your moment, the season of sudden bloom. The path ahead is not about escape, it's about elevation. You carry unique spiritual keys to change environments, rewrite destinies, and demonstrate that the divine still operates through aligned lives. Your yes echoes in the heavens and is being rewarded now in the appointed time. Accept being the agent of transformation. Align yourself. Activate everything you've received. The world awaits the awakened you. What does it mean to be awakened? It doesn't mean having all the answers. It means being willing to ask the right questions. It means recognizing when the noise around you is drowning out the quiet voice within. Awakening is the decision to honor what you already know, even when the world tells you to keep searching elsewhere. It's choosing presence over performance, depth over distraction, truth over approval. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what's unfolding next. This journey deepens with each step. The final note is not an ending. It's an invitation, a summons to step into what has been prepared. You're standing at a threshold. Behind you is everything you've survived, everything that tried to diminish you, every closed door that redirected your steps. Ahead of you is the life you were always meant to live, the one you've glimpsed in dreams and quiet moments of knowing. But here's the truth most people miss. Thresholds require action. You can stand at the door forever, understanding its significance, feeling its pull, but until you step through, nothing changes. The divine has done its part. The universe has aligned. The preparation is complete. Now it's your move. Early neuroscience findings indicate that the brain responds powerfully to moments of decision. When we commit, neural pathways strengthen, focus sharpens, and the reticular activating system begins to filter reality in favor of opportunities aligned with our intention. This is why clarity often follows commitment, not the other way around. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the confirmation they've been praying for comes through you. Let's go deeper. The signs you've been noticing, the restlessness, the dreams that feel too vivid to dismiss, the recurring numbers, the unexpected encounters. These are not random. They are breadcrumbs. The universe speaks in whispers before it roars. It offers gentle nudges before it demands. If you're reading this, you've been nudged multiple times, and each nudge was a test. Would you pay attention? Would you honor the inner knowing, even when it defied logic? Most people silence the nudges. They rationalize them away, bury them under busyness, numb them with distraction. But you didn't. You're here. That alone is evidence of your readiness. The spiritual realm operates on different laws than the physical. In the physical, scarcity is a reality. Resources are finite. Competition is survival. But in the spiritual, abundance is the default. There is no lack, no shortage, only misalignment. When you align, when you tune your frequency to the divine signal, what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Doors don't just open, they swing wide. Paths don't just clear, they illuminate. Tell me in the comments which part of this message resonated most deeply with you. Your insight guides what comes next. Here's what the chosen ones understand that others don't. Waiting is not passive. True waiting is active preparation. It's the athlete training in obscurity before the championship. It's the artist refining the craft before the gallery opens. It's the seed underground, invisible but growing, pushing through soil, breaking through barriers, until one day it erupts into light. You've been underground. The world didn't see you. Even you questioned whether anything was happening. But the roots were spreading, the foundation was forming. And now, the breaking through begins. There's a subtle detail most people overlook, and it changes everything. The breakthrough doesn't come because you finally figured it out. It comes because you finally surrendered. Surrender is not defeat. It's the opposite. It's the recognition that your small, striving self cannot force the universe to bend. But your aligned self, your soul in harmony with the divine, moves mountains without effort. Evidence from clinical practice shows that people who learn to release control without giving up responsibility experience profound shifts. They report increased synchronicity, improved relationships, and a sense of being carried by something larger than themselves. This isn't mysticism. It's lived reality for those who dare to trust. October 2025 is not just a date. It's a portal, a convergence of energies, intentions, and divine timing. Ancient traditions speak of certain times as thin places, where the veil between seen and unseen is gossamer, where the sacred pierces the mundane. You're living in a thin time. The final warning is this: do not sleepwalk through your portal. Do not numb yourself when the universe is calling you to awaken. Do not shrink when you're being invited to expand. The discomfort you feel is not a sign you're on the wrong path. It's a sign you're on the threshold of the right one. Every great transformation begins with discomfort. The butterfly must struggle out of the cocoon. The struggle is what strengthens the wings. If someone cuts the cocoon open to help, the butterfly will never fly. It will crawl for the rest of its life, beautiful but grounded. You're in the cocoon. The struggle is the strengthening. Trust it. What if the moment you've been preparing for your entire life is not someday, but today? What if every hardship, every heartbreak, every humiliation was sculpting you into the vessel capable of holding what's about to be poured? You are not the same person you were a year ago. You're not even the same person you were yesterday. You've been refined, distilled, purified, and now you're ready. The world needs what only you can offer, not your performance, not your perfection, your presence, your specific frequency, your unique light. There are people whose lives will change because you chose to show up fully. There are systems that will shift because you chose to speak truth. There are futures that will unfold because you chose to step through your portal instead of standing at its edge. Your comment and engagement help this message reach those who need it most. Be part of the ripple effect. The final note is simple. You were chosen, not because you're better, but because you're willing. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you're willing to trust. Not because you're fearless, but because you're willing to act even in the presence of fear. God doesn't choose the qualified. God qualifies the chosen, and the qualification comes through the journey, not before it. Every trial was a teacher. Every loss was a lesson. Every closed door was redirection toward the open one. You didn't fail. You were rerouted. You didn't lose. You were redirected. You didn't fall behind. You were held back for the right timing, and the right timing is now. Listen closely. The acceleration you're feeling is real. Time is collapsing in on itself. What used to require decades now requires months. What used to demand years now demands weeks. The universe is fast-tracking those who are ready. And you're ready. Whether you feel it or not, you're ready. The feeling will catch up. First comes the decision, then comes the feeling, then comes the evidence. There is a convergence happening, not just in your life, but in the lives of all the chosen ones across the planet. Separate threads being woven into a single tapestry. Individual awakenings contributing to a collective shift. You are not alone in this. You are part of a movement, a wave, a rising tide that cannot be stopped. The old structures are crumbling. The systems built on fear, control, and scarcity are collapsing under their own weight. And in their place, something new is being built. Something aligned with love, truth, and abundance. And you, chosen one, are one of the builders. You carry the blueprint in your soul. You always have. This is not about religion. This is about relationship. Not with an institution, but with the divine itself. The unmediated, direct, intimate connection that every soul is designed for. You don't need permission. You don't need intermediaries. You need only willingness, openness, and the courage to listen. Here's a simple practice you can begin today. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths. Inhale through the nose, feeling the breath descend into your belly. Exhale through the mouth, releasing whatever you've been carrying that isn't yours. On the 3rd exhale, ask one question: what wants to be born through me today? Then listen. Don't force an answer. Just listen. The answer may come as a word, an image, a sensation, or simply a knowing. Trust it, write it down, act on it. The path clarifies as we walk. You don't need the whole map. You just need the next step. And the next step is always revealed when you're ready for it. Are you ready? The divine doesn't shout. It whispers. And the whisper is gentle, patient, persistent. It will keep calling until you answer. And every time you answer, even in the smallest way, the volume increases. Not because the divine gets louder, but because you get better at listening. October 25th, 2025 is not a deadline. It's a milestone, a marker along the path, a reminder that time is moving, that the season is shifting, that the portal is open. But the portal doesn't close on October 26th. It remains open for those who choose to walk through. The question is, will you? The final warning is also a final promise. Everything you've been through has meaning. Nothing was wasted. Every tear watered a seed. Every prayer built a bridge. Every moment of darkness made you capable of holding more light. You are not a victim of your story. You are the hero of it. And the hero's journey always includes a call, a refusal, a mentor, a trial, and a return. You've answered the call. You faced the trial. Now comes the return. The return with the treasure, the wisdom, the gift. The return to share what you've learned, to elevate others, to change the world one life at a time. You were chosen not for comfort, but for impact. Not for ease, but for influence. Not for applause, but for legacy. And legacy is not what you leave behind. Legacy is what you live now, in every choice, every word, every action. The universe is watching, not to judge, but to support. Every aligned step you take is met with divine backing. Doors open. Resources appear, people show up, opportunities unfold, not because you're forcing, but because you're flowing. Not because you're striving, but because you're aligned. Here's the part most people never hear. The hardest part is not the doing, it's the believing. Believing that you are who the divine says you are. Believing that you are worthy of the abundance, the favor, the blessing. believing that your yes matters, that your life has significance, that your existence is not accidental. You are not an accident. You are a masterpiece in progress. And October 2025 is the moment the masterpiece is unveiled. Not to the world, not yet. First, it's unveiled to you. You must see yourself as the divine sees you, whole, worthy, chosen, ready. The final note ends with a question. Not because the divine lacks answers, but because you need to discover yours. What light wants to enter your life now? What are you willing to release so something truer can begin? Where does your attention want to rest tonight? What would your life look like if you moved from center, not from noise? The answers are already within you. They always have been. The divine doesn't give you what you don't already possess. It reveals what's been hidden, activates what's been dormant, and empowers what's been waiting. You are the chosen one. Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you trust the process. Not because you're fearless, but because you walk forward anyway. And that is enough. That has always been enough. The final warning is this: don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't second guess. The time is now. The portal is open. The universe is aligned. The divine is calling. And your yes right now in this moment changes everything. Not just for you, but for everyone your life will touch. What if this is the moment everything shifts? What if the life you've been dreaming of is not someday, but today? What if the breakthrough you've been praying for is not coming, but here? Step through. Say yes, activate, align, and watch the universe move in your favor like never before. The world is waiting for the awakened you. Don't make it wait any longer. Your portal is not a single moment frozen in time. It's a season, and seasons have rhythms. There will be days when everything flows effortlessly, when doors open before you knock, when clarity feels as natural as breathing. And there will be days when doubt returns, when old patterns whisper lies, when fear tries to convince you that none of this is real. Both are part of the journey. The difference now is that you know. You've received the note. You've heard the call. And that knowing changes the nature of your walking. Think of the river. It doesn't flow in a straight line. It curves, bends, sometimes pools in quiet eddies before rushing forward again. But it never stops moving toward the ocean. You are the river. Your destination is certain, even when the path winds. Trust the current, even when you can't see beyond the next bend. The chosen ones carry a paradox. They are deeply ordinary and profoundly extraordinary at the same time. Ordinary in their humanity, in their struggles, in their moments of weakness and doubt. Extraordinary in their willingness, in their capacity to rise after falling, in their commitment to something larger than personal comfort. You don't have to be flawless. You just have to be faithful. Faithful to the call, faithful to the process, faithful to the voice within that knows the truth even when the mind argues. Here's what shifts when you fully accept your calling. You stop performing and start being. You stop chasing approval and start honoring alignment. You stop measuring your worth by external metrics and start recognizing your inherent value. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you become purposeful. Every action carries intention. Every word carries weight. Every choice becomes a declaration of who you are and what you stand for. The world is full of noise, designed to distract, to numb, to keep you from hearing the still, small voice. But once you've heard it, really heard it, the noise loses its power. You can move through chaos without becoming chaotic. You can navigate uncertainty without becoming uncertain. You carry a center, a knowing, an anchor that holds you steady when everything around you shakes. In the comments, tell me what shift you're committing to today. Your declaration strengthens not just your path, but the path of every person who reads it. Let's address something most teachings avoid: the loneliness of the chosen. When you begin to awaken, when you start seeing what others don't see, feeling what others don't feel, knowing what others don't know, there's an inevitable distance that forms. Not because you're better, but because you're different. Your frequency has changed, and not everyone can match it. Some people will fall away naturally. Some relationships will end, not in conflict, but in quiet completion. This is not loss. This is alignment. You're not losing people. You're making space for the ones who belong to your next chapter. There's grief in that. Honor it, but don't let it stop you. The divine never isolates you as punishment. It only removes what would hinder the fullness of what's coming. Every ending is an invitation to a beginning. Every goodbye makes room for a hello that will change everything. The final note carries a promise embedded in the warning. If you honor this moment, if you step through your portal with intention and courage, you will become a lighthouse. Not because you announce it, not because you perform it, but because your very presence emanates something others are searching for. Peace in the midst of chaos, clarity in the midst of confusion, hope in the midst of despair. You won't have to advertise. People will simply be drawn to the light, and here's the responsibility that comes with that. Light attracts. It attracts seekers, yes, but it also attracts those who would rather curse the darkness than do the work to find their own flame. You will encounter resistance, projection, jealousy, and misunderstanding. Not from everyone, but from some. This is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're doing something right. The light exposes, and not everyone is ready to see what the light reveals. Stay grounded, stay humble, stay compassionate, but do not dim your light to make others comfortable. That serves no one. Your job is not to shrink. Your job is to shine and to teach others by your example that they can shine too. Research in social psychology reveals that individuals who embody authenticity often trigger discomfort in those still operating from personas and defenses. This discomfort is not your burden to carry. It's their invitation to growth. You can hold space with compassion, but you cannot do their work for them. Each soul must choose its own awakening. Here's a practice for staying centered when the world presses in. Every morning, before you engage with any device, any demand, any voice outside yourself, place your hand on your heart. Feel the steady rhythm. That rhythm is older than your fears, wiser than your doubts, more reliable than any external validation. Say quietly, either aloud or in the silence of your mind, I am held. I am guided. I am enough. 3 sentences. 30 seconds. It recalibrates everything. The chosen ones are being positioned, not just for personal blessing, but for collective healing. You are part of a larger tapestry. Your thread matters. If you pull out, if you refuse your place, the pattern is incomplete. But when you step in, when you take your place, the whole design comes into focus. This is not pressure. This is invitation. You were made for this. Everything in you, every gift, every wound, every experience, equips you for the role only you can play. October 2025 is a hinge point in history. Not because of politics or economics, though those will shift. Not because of technology or culture, though those will transform. But because of consciousness. A critical mass of individuals is waking up simultaneously. And when enough people awaken, the collective dream changes. You are part of that critical mass. Your awakening contributes to the whole. Your courage gives others permission. Your light makes the path visible for those still stumbling in the dark. Subscribe and stay close as we navigate this unprecedented season together. You're not meant to walk this alone. The final warning is not about fear. It's about urgency. Not the frantic urgency of scarcity, but the sacred urgency of Kairos, the appointed time. There are moments in life when the door is open, and if you don't walk through, it closes. Not forever, but for that particular season. Another door will come, but it will be a different door, leading to a different room. This door, the one open now in October 2025, leads to the room you've been preparing for your whole life. Don't miss it because you were too afraid, too distracted, or too convinced you had more time. You don't have forever. None of us do. But you have now, and now is enough. Now is everything. The divine doesn't ask you to have it all figured out. The divine asks you to take the step in front of you. Just one step, and then another, and another, And suddenly, you look back and realize you've walked miles, crossed deserts, climbed mountains, all one step at a time. The note God left is not written on paper. It's written in your restlessness, your dreams, your inexplicable knowing, your sudden clarity. It's written in the synchronicities, the repeated numbers, the unexpected encounters, the doors opening where there were only walls. The note is everywhere, once you learn to read it. And you're learning. That's why you're here. That's why this message found you, or you found it. There are no accidents in the kingdom of purpose. Here's the final reflection I'll leave with you today. Who are you when no one is watching? When there's no audience, no applause, no validation, no reward? Who are you in the quiet, in the solitude, in the moments between the doing? That's who you really are. And that person, that unadorned, unperformed, unedited self, is who the divine calls chosen. Not the persona, not the mask. The you beneath all the layers. That you is enough. That you is ready. That you is the one being invited through the portal. Walk through. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when circumstances are perfect. Now. Today. This moment. Say yes and watch how the universe conspires in your favor. Watch how the path clears. Watch how the resources appear. Watch how the right people show up. Watch how your life transforms from the inside out. This is not metaphor. This is lived reality for those who dare to trust, who dare to step, who dare to become who they were always meant to be. You are chosen. And the time is now.